Hey, welcome to the 40 Finance channel, everybody. If you've been watching the channel for a little while, you know that I've had some small bets in the crypto space. One was through the GBTC Grayscale Bitcoin Trust that I had in my public retail account for a while. I sold that out after holding it for a year or two for a decent profit. I sold that, I think, in summertime around June or July. And then late in the summer, I took advantage of a Webull sign up offer and I bought just a little bit of Ethereum in the Webull account. I did some regular deposits, like $50 a week or something like that. Got up to the $1,000 mark on Ethereum and just stopped and kept it off to the side. And I just cashed in that position for a gain of like $700. And with all that in mind, I'm going to start building out a crypto account that I can share here on the channel. It's just going to be dollar cost averaging in, and I'm going to share the results in the account here, and you guys can see what's going on. Now, for this video, I just want to share some of what I see as the positives and the negatives and the risks for crypto going forward. Keep in mind that I live in the United States, so it's a pretty healthy market here. And while the government has been slow to come out with any like real regulations, I think the best guess we have as investors here is that they'll regulate it to some degree, but ultimately they probably just want the tax money. That looks to be the most important angle that America's going after. All right, switching over to some headlines regarding the United States. This is on Reuters, U.S. banking regulators to clarify banks' role. And this just came out yesterday, but I think it sums up the limited risk that I see in United States crypto. So what they're trying to do here, U.S. banking regulators intend to clarify in 2022 what the role traditional banks can legally play in the crypto market. So this is the frozen part of the United States when it comes to crypto, is banks are scared, not necessarily of cryptocurrency, taking over the world. They're scared from a legal perspective. They just want to make sure they're responsible for so much paperwork, the banking industry, that they don't want to touch anything, that might cause them to lose their charter or perhaps pay extra fines. So here's a good quote. The agencies have identified a number of areas where additional clarity is warranted. Let's see here. Throughout 2022, the agencies plan to provide greater clarity on whether certain activities related to crypto conducted by banking organizations are legally permissible, and expectations for safety, soundness, consumer protection, that's a big one right there, and compliance with existing laws and regulations. So we don't know exactly what the regulators are going to say to the banking industry, but it sounds to me like an amicable solution. Bankers just want the rules. Give us the rules. We want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things we can and cannot do. And when you get that, you start to set the table of where United States crypto is going to go from there. All right, another reason here that I feel good about cryptocurrency in the United States is because now we have some tax regulation going on. And this is really important because if the government can make money off these transactions, then the government will support these transactions. And that's just the simple math behind it. You see here that the infrastructure bill includes tax reporting provisions that apply to digital assets like cryptocurrencies and NFTs. Crypto brokers will be required to issue a 1099 form disclosing who their customers are. And businesses and exchanges will also be required to report each time they receive over $10,000 in cryptocurrency. All right, so for me personally, who has zero interest in being involved in illegal financial matters, those 2 points I just made are really big for the United States, okay? You've got banking regulators understanding the pressure that banks are under to make a decision. And now we have taxation on these crypto assets which means that the government has just found itself a new revenue stream. And that's important because if the government's making money, they're going to be a lot more open to the cryptocurrency world and all the ideas that certainly are going to come about from it over the next 5 to 10 years. So when I look at legal risk and legislative risk to cryptocurrency, I wouldn't say that we're 100% in the clear in the United States, but compared to when I first bought the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust in 2018, okay, a lot of guidance has come out since then. And generally speaking, I would say we are on track for sort of a guided approval, if you will, of these activities. Now, legislative risk, legal risk is not the only risk for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, as we know. This is an industry that has a lot of scam and fraudulent elements to it. It is also an industry where prices are very, very volatile, and you have a market that is open 24/7. I would also argue that the use cases for most cryptocurrencies are very technical and more probably years, decades away from, full 90% adoption, certainly across the USA. All right, so how am I going to structure my crypto investing? Right now, I am holding true to coins that I have seen actual use cases for. So that is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and this one down here, Solana. In each of these cases, in the research that I've done, just by looking around at some of the communities that are out there and learning the best I can, each one of these assets actually has a use case where you can use these coins and currency to go buy things. Now, it's not buying things from the grocery store, but they each have their own strong community that believes about them. So that's where I'm going to stake my interests. All these other things that you read about, like the Dogecoin, which, by the way, on Dogecoin, I still left some Dogecoin in my Webull account because I had a very small amount when I was closing out the Ethereum. So maybe I'll wake up one day to $1 million. But I see the rest of these, from my limited knowledge, as pretty big gambles. I would say that the ones that I'm going to be focused on are also gambles in the sense that the price is unpredictable. You can look at all the technical charts you want, but at the end of the day, it's all based on demand. So what makes Ethereum $4,200 today versus $2,500 tomorrow? It's really just people buying more of the coin. So it's not that different than you start to see from the stock market. So in my eyes, the only thing that I want out of the coins that I'm investing in is an actual use case. I may not participate in the use cases and the handling of it to buy certain things, but I want to make sure that somebody's using it somewhere and that group of people is growing over time. And there's a lot of stuff to consider as you start reading in this world about speeds of transactions. Basically, Bitcoin is like one of the slowest, and that Solana coin that I showed you has a lot of advantages for speed. So there's people who are huddling around that. I'm not the expert there, and the purpose of this video here today is just to share with you thoughts on my own personal journey. All right, last thing I'm going to call out here is this website that I found very helpful. I guess it's sort of like a Wikipedia of the decentralized movement, and I enjoyed reading it. I do not get paid or any money or anything to put this here, but it is letsdodefi.com, just like we have up here. I did not buy anything. There's no membership required. It's just very simple, bite-sized chapters, not even chapters, where they just go through and explain some of the vocabulary and how things are working. So I enjoyed it. That's the only reason I'm sharing it with you here. And I learned a lot. And this was a while ago that I started on this site. and I've also been following some Reddit communities, kind of taking this general knowledge that I've learned here at Let's Do DeFi and reading more on other places. So that's how I've arrived at my conviction level, I guess you could say. All right, guys, so that's kind of like the reasons and rationale in my brain of why I'm setting up a more formal crypto investment off to the side. It's going to be about 10% of my portfolio built up over time. So the portfolio just took a hit here in the last quarter, but we're about 90,000, something like that. So the goal here would be to sort of slowly accumulate $10,000 in crypto assets. That's what I'm working towards. Obviously, I'll share the journey here with you guys, and I'll also share all the little details about the platforms and stuff I'm using. I wanted to do that on this video, but I'm testing 3 platforms right now, and before I say anything about a recommendation or whatnot, I want to make sure that I can send money to them, buy things, remove money, all that stuff, because I don't want to get anyone in a jam by showing you a platform that might be a bust. So I'm working on that in the background. It should be fun heading into 2022. All right, guys, let me know what you think about cryptocurrencies. If you're interested in this space at all, how much are you allocating, and where you see this market going in the future. All right, as always, please give a like, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends. Thanks as always for watching. We'll see you on the next video.